I'm doing great. It's great to hear from you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I would like to apologize again about yesterday. I feel really bad. I'm
Water under the bridge. We worked it out.
all right. Okay.
If I
Sorry.
assure
Thank
you,
you.
I assure you, if there was an issue over scheduling, I would not sit on it. You would know.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Transparency, I think it's just so like the one thing I will not do is like walk on eggshells. I think that transparency, especially if I'm going to be like, someone you're turning to for like advice and for like feedback and like thoughts and honest opinion and, stuff about your play, something as important as your play, yeah, I got to be transparent. Only way this works. So,
100%. Yeah, that
no,
makes sense.
for sure. Do you have anything to add or comment, or do you think we're ready to get cracking?
I think we can start if you are ready.
Hell yeah! So, I know
All
that
right.
we talked previously. We like talked about the Peach matchup a little bit. Is that still something you want to look at today, or have your priorities shifted? I know that you said that like B-Bats was trash, so I'm assuming you were like kind of like cooking on ranked, perhaps.
Oh no, he definitely beat me, but it was a really fun set.
Okay,
Um,
so not
I mean, I don't know. So I guess my bigger caveat is that a lot of my Slippy files got corrupted. I don't have any of the Peach files I wanted to look at now.
okay.
I was thinking maybe, I guess I feel like really I want to think in more just,
Broad terms.
well, yeah, I guess in like a more macro sense of just how do I phrase this? I feel like I play grounded way too much. Like beyond just the idea of oh, I'm gonna full hop or I'm gonna occupy platforms. Just the entire all-encompassing idea that I am basically only occupying one of the two axes that I can at 90% of the time. And the other one's just like a constant, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm not
Hmm.
really abusing Fox's verticality in almost any matchup properly. And I feel like this is an overarching issue of mine.
Gotcha. So like basically you're either on the ground or you're in the air, but you're like not really. I get the sense there's like almost like you feel a lack of fluidity. Would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So let me ask you, um, where do you think this comes from? Because I think that like Fox's mobility is really good in general. Like he has a lot of ways I think of like planning his jumps to be able to like do effective transitions. Like I don't know how good all of this stuff is anymore, but like I'm thinking back to like how short hop into like instant no short hop into like double jump was once upon a time like a way that you could kind of like multitask between the two, because like with the idea being that like if you want to go and do more of an air thing you can, but if you want to like play more ground, if his short hop's quick, fast falling and wave landing to a location is like a reasonable way, or just even empty land into like dashback or something, right? Fast fall empty land. There's like ways to kind of there's kind of ways to like occupy an in between like an aerial spot that's like in between with his short hop and such. There's also things you can do with the platforms, of course, because all you're doing then is descending, so much faster transition. So I just am curious, like what solution, like what is the type of is there a position where you think this comes up more? Like is there a matchup where you find this is more of a problem, or do you think this is like very
Yeah.
broad?
I think Falco especially. I feel like Fox's verticality is a really good way to slow down the pace of the game and dictate you have to come to me now. And I feel like when I'm constantly letting Falco just run laser mix-ups on me over and over again, I'm giving him the ability to dictate when things happen whenever he wants while I never get to decide.
Hmm. Okay, I see what you're saying. So there's a few one thing that we could do is how would you feel about taking a look at like say a Soonsay set or something like somebody who's like because I know that he beat Magi at Genesis 3-1 I believe. So like there's definitely some good footage like of that matchup I think from Fox's side that's come out recently. Like I'm thinking it might make sense to if you don't have footage of your play because of the Slippy file corruption, maybe it's a good maybe we could like get some ideas from
Okay,
from like a top player, and then we can kind of see how we can apply them like maybe in a practical sense.
sure. That works.
Hell yeah! So,
Looking like
are
Falco.
you? Do you have anything against Magi Sunsei, or is there another set you think might be good?
I think that might be good. I feel like Soonsay's usually pretty anti-meta, though. I guess, right? Am I wrong about that? I feel like when he approaches like a lot of like matchups, he's just kind of like not doing what I expect, like the normal Fox stuff is in neutral.
Why is that a bad thing?
I guess it's not. I was just wondering, like, do you think like I should be like looking at like the most like bread and butter foxes when I'm trying to like discover new concepts, or does it really like just whatever works for me, or like is there like I don't know how to phrase this properly? I guess
Gotcha.
it's
So, do
just
you want something that's going to mix well with the things currently in the pot, or are we getting something that's a little bit different because because it's potentially complementary? Like, are we trying to like lean into something more harmonious, or do we want to do something that's maybe a little bit requires a little bit more of us to use, but could like grow our play more?
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I think
Yeah.
from what you've described, I think that growing the play makes a lot of sense because I, while I do get your argument about like maybe we should pick something like like simpler, I think that part of, I think one thing that will keep you stuck here is if you stay in your comfort zone.
Okay. Mhm.
Because like
Okay.
if we're always sticking into your comfort zone, like if we like looked at Leffen for example, or like some like a fox who's like very conventional in that way, I think what we run the risk of not of us not like of us just kind of like go like I feel like the standard fox is just the thing that everyone knows how to beat anyway. Um,
Right.
so I think that it is important at some point to diversify your skill set. If we can do that while also solving a problem, I think that there's some merit to that.
Mhm. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then besides, I don't think he's that weird. He's weird, but he's not that weird.
Okay.
So start on battlefield. So, what do you notice about how Soonsay is moving, and what do you notice about how she's defending against it?
Let's see. Soonsay is like trying to like position himself around getting a reversal first and foremost. It seems like
Mm-hmm.
because and like I feel like Magi is mainly just playing for her reversals right now. Mainly look like she's been shielding a lot, looking for a shine out shield potentially, or like yeah, like let's see.
So I think one thing
Um,
I want to call attention to this dash dance on the side platform.
yeah, okay.
So what do you think? Why do you think I wanted to? Why do you think that stood out to me?
Because he's letting her come to him at the start of the game. He's waiting to see what she wants to do. If she's gonna initiate or wait for him. I guess, right?
I mean, there's a
I'm
bunch of
not
good. There's a bunch of. So you're
okay.
right. You're right. But there's actually a bunch of good things going on. So like, let's look at the possible like avenues that Magi can take from her starting position. We're gonna use this one for our diagram though, just because this one is like I don't want the go sign in the way basically. Um, so with here, with Falco being over, like Falco will be blue here, yeah, because Magi's player 2, perfect. So Falco's here, Soonsay's here, and Soonsay's here, and they start. This is where they start. So, where can Falco go from his starting position? Would you say?
Um, I'd say he could like short hop double laser off the side plat. He could dash dance dare off the side plat or instant drift and dare. But the furthest he can go is really like the edge of the other side plat.
So let's not worry too much about the laser lanes because like he's on side plat, he's on the same plane. We know that there's a laser there. We know that there's a laser down here too. So like these are like pretty like we can actually mark those. That'll make it easier. So like this is a laser lane. This is a laser lane.
Mhm.
But where can Falco the character move? Like what? And I mean in big picture. Like we don't have to get into like all the micro nitty gritty, but like I just mean, so you said, so he can stay here. That's one option.
Yeah.
He can also go like here, which it would be
Hmm.
another one, and he'd land somewhere in this like general vicinity.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then the
And
other
he
thing,
could.
he could
Oh,
also go
sorry.
down
Yeah.
and land somewhere
Uh,
around here. And what's the last spot he can go other than
Top
like
plat.
hell yeah, you bet it, you bet he can go to top plat. Now,
Yeah.
of these options, which ones is Soonsay covering with where Fox can go by hanging out there?
Um, I feel like he kind of like. Yeah, I don't think there's like a direct like answer for the Falco if Sensei's just waiting here, right? It's kind of like like he's not putting himself in any position of getting threatened at the start of the game as long as he just stays on side plat.
Right, because if he goes... So, the other cool thing here is, though, he's covering 2 of Magi's spots super, super effectively. Because he's checking this one and this one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, like, he's basically said, like, this is a yield sign. Like, this is, like, you can't go here unless you want to take a risk, because Soonsay's blocking that off. And then I would say here is another yield sign. Because Soonsay can attack after Magi enters that spot by waiting there.
And then from there, so she's going to, like, naturally just want to drop down, and then you can kind of, like, get stage control from there, right? Like, drop down, take center?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, if you want, when we get to the notes, so, like, let's map his location. So he has basically the same, like, points, but, like, they're a little bit, like, longer because Fox is, like, better movement. So they're more like this.
Yeah.
So then with this in mind, and like this has like, so this has some variation, but we'll capture that with this. Actually, this shouldn't be quite so far forward. This should be more like this, I think. And then the landing, like more like this, and then the landing spot is just broader, like that, because Fox has a lot more acceleration. So basically, Soonsay can trump this by waiting, and this by also waiting. So it's just in place and hanging out down here and like going down here. But even then, like if Magi moves here, or if Magi lasers here, I still think that he's okay versus by dash dancing, because if she lasers here, what is he gonna do?
Jump over it?
Yeah, he'll just go across the top platform, of course.
Yeah.
So the only she doesn't actually have great options to contest him here. And if she tries to shoot the top platform, what's going to happen? And he's waiting, what's going to happen? He's just going to run over, right? And get under her, like maybe get around here where it's annoying for her to deal with because she has to commit to coming down here or like jumping over here, and then or go like she has to guess basically where Fox is going. So
right.
So like this is kind of like the position map. Like this is blocked off, this is blocked off. So then where does she go? Like when we consult the actual replay, she goes under the platform, and like so like if we back up and watch like the act from start, where does she go? Drops through. He chills, and then he's able to do that.
Okay, I see. That makes sense. And then Jilay eventually she wants to challenge the flat, so she full hops and then just shines it.
I think it's more that I don't know actually.
Or is she, because I feel like she had time to react to that position. I'm just confused as to why she did that jump there.
Yeah, that full hop seemed weird. I'm not gonna lie. Let's watch it one more time. Let's see what she's covering. So she lasers. I think that she's reading that he's going to not get hit by that laser and jump instead.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because, like, she doesn't wait for the laser to hit to start the jump. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
So I think that she's expecting that he's going to head up, and then she's going to clip his jump when he full hops, and then he just doesn't do it. Because he gets hit by the laser and just, like, chills. Because she's far away. Something I really like about what he does there, that shield drop double jump up here.
Yeah. And that's a kill. Okay.
So let's like keep those positions in mind as we're going through this and think about like where they can go. See what I mean? Like,
okay, yeah. So like, let's see.
So like here, there was a bunch of them here. Yeah. So watch. Covers that.
I see. So he's like taking space with his like aerials, like, and he's like basically he tried to like occupy top plat to threaten what's it called? Falco from going up there.
Yep. A lot of times.
Sorry. This is really hard to find the words right now. This is weird concepts for me. I like never think about platform stuff. At all.
That's okay. Do you want to take a pause and talk about like some of the different spots? Okay, let's get a better image of the map, but like let's do that. That's totally fine. So like here, let's look at this interaction from here when they head up. So like this one here when he goes on the platform.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm wondering is like, what is Soonsay's intention initially when he like full hops like and just goes to the platform? Like what? Like I guess like after like just like the starting neutral, when you occupy the platform from the ground, what are you hoping to accomplish?
So a lot of times it's safe. A lot of times it's a combination of things. So I'd say one big thing is safety.
Okay.
Falco can't shoot you here. Like Falco, like Falco, like how does Falco possibly like fire up there, right? He'd have to like do basically like instant, like he'd have to do like instant double jump laser to like stay below the platform, then like fire on the way down. Like he's gonna be about here before the laser actually comes out. He has to do that full range of motion, and like this is so slow. Like Fox can see that coming a mile away. So I would say, and then Falco's jump heights are sort of awkward for attacking because his like the only aerials he has that consistently hit this platform, to my understanding, are basically his fair kind of and like his up air. His up air is the only like really reliable one. But like his up air is not, his up air like really just hits like a little ball, like only hits like a small area above the platform, right? Like it's basically hitting, and we'll use pink for Falco's up here. Cool. Like Falco's up here is basically hitting like this area with its hitboxes, because they're not out for that long either. So like with that in mind, it's easy to see Falco coming because there's not a whole lot to his like path of to his like motion. So with that in mind, what I would say here is the other cool thing about Falco, about this spot for Fox, is like if Falco wants to approach you, how does he do it? He has to like full hop at you.
Like full hop shine.
Sure, but what if we just dashed inside of the way of that?
Exactly. Like it's like really, I feel like it's really hard for him to directly call me out in that position. And so he kind of just either wants to like positionally pressure, or if he like. So I assume, like, if I'm Falco, what I want to do is just, like, pressure the landing with lasers and, like, exert, like, like, hitbox pressure. And then, like, if I get a good enough read on your movement around the platforms, I try to call it out with a full hop shine, but it's, like, something I want to actually feel out before I go for it.
Yeah, so what I'd say here is Falco kind of has, like, these... he has these very sharp slants that go upwards. And he can vary them a little bit. Like he could do this, like he could do something like this with his double jump, for example. So he can like move more to this. Like this would be like short. This would be like short hop to the side, double jump, like towards them. Like we've all seen that kind of trajectory before. But the idea here is essentially that Fox is just avoiding whatever line Falco has with his jumps as Falco positions. Okay. The other nice thing here is that Falco's main move with, like, priority here, like, or a disjoint here, is his back air. So, like, he's also somewhat, like, his down air kind of works, but, like, it's not as good at winning fights in this position as his back air is. So, he's gonna, if he's got his back to you, you know that, like, you can kind of tell a lot about what Falco's doing based on his stance. Like, is he facing forward or facing away? Because if he's looking to wall with back air, it's really not that hard to just dash dance around them or block them and then shield and then punish out of shield. Because again, when he overshoots, like when he goes past you and overshoots all the way from like here to here, like this is where he's making contact with your shield if he's doing it on the way up. And he has all this travel time from here to here where he is vulnerable. Is very, especially if he double jumped, it's very good to just jump out of shield and shine his ass.
Sorry, could you say the last part one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm saying is, let's say Soonsay was shielding here, right? So we're gonna have him raise his guard. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying here is that if Magi were to like was facing away from him and happened to like full hop bear at him, she's making contact with his shield here, which means that from here to here, she is vulnerable.
Okay.
So think about all the times you've seen Falco like short hop into double jump or like instant double jump to like try to get their spacing on like an aerial in this kind of spot. Now think about what would happen if you shined them towards like the edge of the stage. Out of shield.
Without their double jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just die.
And if they have their double jump, then you just do an edge guard. Like you have a gimp opportunity. It's not like it's good for him. And that's assuming that the up smash grab or back air or whatever the heck you have for your punish, like isn't better. And often yeah, like there's so many ways to get good reward here. The Shine Land, is overrated. People think it's like super powerful, and it can be if it's high reward for sure. But again, this is where like one big thing I would say is dash dancing on the platforms. Like a key thing here is like DD on plat, because you're basically just, you're not, Falco's doesn't have tons of like range going around the platform because of his jump height. He has to go past them a lot, so he only really has the line going up that you have to worry about. The line going down doesn't really come up until like much later. So he basically can attack a spot with his shine, with a shine land, or he can attack a spot, but it's still on the same trajectory as a jump. So the same spacing that is good versus that will be good versus the other stuff.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not like he's doing this or something, or like changing his jump trajectory by doing it, and because he has to keep his double jump too, which is another restriction. Because he can't just like, you know, double jump around and then shine, because then he can't JC it, and then that's terrible because you'll just kill him. Like he's so like he'll be so punishable.
Yeah.
Platforms, I think shield dropping was the worst thing that ever happened to Falco as a character.
Oh, because you can't like shine waveland on plat anymore.
It's just like, it's like that, but like the plats are just like plats have always been good versus Falco because they deal with the lasers and like force him to be, like play awkwardly. But like what shield dropping did that was so deadly to him was it created a fight dynamic where all of a sudden people could not only weren't losing their mobility by playing on the platforms. And that was like awful for him. That was like the worst possible thing to ever happen to him, just because it meant that like you could just chill up there as a real game plan. If you're ahead, you can just sit. If you're even or even behind, you can use them as a spot to pressure him from. Like there's so many of the reward. Like look at how he like sets up like his okay, that was a bad example because he messed up, but like you're gonna see what I mean in a second. Like he's probably gonna board the platform soon. Or pretend to, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I see. But he's still like making use of the platforms in that mix up even if he doesn't go on them. Because they're protecting him, like, until he gets below it, right?
Well, let's put ourselves in Magi's shoes here, like in this dash dance. So like you see Fox jump up here. Do you want to attack him?
Probably. I guess if I think that he's gonna waveland like he has been.
Mm-hmm. So like
I would, yeah. So I'd probably try and call his position with a full hop shine, and then yeah, he just drops throwing back airs before she can get in position to shine.
Correct.
I see. Okay.
So I would say that this back air here, like I would actually say that like, so a method I've been using for learning lately is to kind of like track our moves backwards to see how we get in this position. Since you've been mentioning that like accessing these tools has been kind of a challenge, let's actually use that process here. So here's what we're gonna do. So we can agree that this is a very good spot for Soonsay to be in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna work backwards and figure out how he got here. Like how did he achieve this position? And then we're going to write those steps down. So let's start with the basics. Do you remember where he was before this? If not, totally fine. It just means we have to go back to the VOD.
No.
Totally fine. Let's see here.
Okay, yeah.
So... Cool.
Okay, so he knocked Magi to ledge and then established corner pressure after the ledge dash.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So let's see how he got the knockdown, because that's the first step. So he took laser... I think he might have done something clever here. He did! That's sneaky.
He jumped into it.
I think he actually crouch canceled it.
Did he? Did the animation come out?
It's either that or he jumped. It's one of the two.
Yeah,
like
I feel like he jumped into it.
That is jump squat. You're right. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So the jump doesn't matter, but the take laser does. So take laser, full hop around approaching laser.
Yeah, right. And I know that like crouch cancel removes like enough. It goes from like 12 frames of hits down to 7 or something. I think I've been trying to implement that too because I feel like it's really busted. It's just like hard to set up for in my head.
Well, like, that's the whole reason it's not busted. It's really powerful, but like it is balanced by Yeah. So take laser,
Yeah.
then it would be from Falco's end, Falco approaching laser. Or advancing laser. And then what does Soonsay do?
He take laser full hops.
Yeah, take laser, full hop, Falco advancing laser, full hop over into falling near. So then Falco goes on Falco goes to edge. Falco takes edge. And then how does she come up? Ledge
she
dash.
does yeah, ledge dash.
Cool. So then DD. And then Falco LD. And then full hop. Full hop back, full hop back bracket facing away. So you can see, like, we knocked them onto the edge, basically. And then we set up when they were trying to come back to come back on the stage. In fact, that's how he does it again.
Okay. Yeah, nice. I see.
Yeah. So the accessing this kind of, because the big thing with like Fox is like how do we use his verticality? Like that's the big question. And Falco's really good at controlling the ground and has solid call-outs. And can limit your ability to dash jump. So knowing it's not just a matter, like there is a little bit of there is an art to setting this up. Like you can see, like even when Soonsay's like this drill, I think is so good. But Magi, being, you know, the beast that she is, like, she gets an opening with the lasers on the she creates like an advantage state on him with the gun after by forcing him to shield, and then just like kind of like calls his out, like covers his out of shield with another good laser. Yeah. One other.
Okay, I see. And then he starts dash dancing there because she's ready for him to start full hopping the platforms, and then like by simply not acting, he gets positional advantage. Because Falco is way worse on side plat than Fox is.
You know, you'd think that, but I actually don't know if that's true anymore.
Really?
So let me ask you.
Get on side plat?
So I think Falco's good on plats. You don't?
I don't. I guess like I feel like Falcons just don't go to plats against me very often. When I think about it.
I mean,
like,
a lot of them
on the ground.
I mean, a lot of them don't. But let me ask you. So
yeah.
how do you beat this? How do you beat this down air?
Wave China shield.
But he's landing on the she's landing on the platform.
Oh, wait. Okay, this, I guess, well... Wait, can you, let me see it play out. Does he get clipped by it?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, okay.
Like you have to kind of...
I would just stay grounded there, right? And then, like, from there, take positional advantage. I'd probably end up... Yeah, I think I'd stay grounded and then shield after she lands on plat, and then from there try and wave shine, have shield landing aerial. Or, like, just, like, take... or, like, set up for a whiff punish, depending on how I think she's been playing it.
Okay, so I hear you. So, like, here's what I'm going to ask you. So,
yeah.
All of what you're saying makes some amount of sense. So, like, I'm not saying that your play is bad or anything like that, but you're saying you basically go below her and, like, block, looking for a landing aerial, right?
Yeah.
So you'd be, like, here right now.
No, I'd probably be, like, where Soonsay is, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that made more sense, because it's, like, I feel like it'd be harder for her to threaten, like, super deep into my position if I'm, like, a little further outside of the plat than right under it, you know?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
That absolutely it is. So what I'm wondering here is, what is her motivation to attack you then? Because she's going to land on the platform, see you blocking down here, and then if I'm her, I'm like, okay, go over this way, fall through laser. Like,
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Because you've also, like, limited your mobility by going into shield, right? Because you can't really react to Falco's down air when she's on her way down. So, like, if I'm in Magi's shoes, if I'm Magi right now, I'm just thinking, like, okay, I see shield, back up, Like, we're not engaging that. We're just going to like take control of the ground because he's limited his next option to full hop, which as long as I move a little bit away does nothing. And if he wave dashes forward, yeah, like we're fine. The laser gets him, and if he wave dashes away, if Fox wave dashes away, like I'm also fine because the laser gets him. So like, there's not a whole lot of like, I just worry that we're not really doing. I feel like we're taking a very reactive strat that requires Falco to play into us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, because we don't have a move that contests his down air all that effectively, like, what's the alternative? Which is why I think Soonsay goes for this full hop aerial, and it clips him. But this is what I mean. Like, I think that we underestimate how good he is up there.
Okay. I see. That makes sense. I guess then, like, you could definitely, like, probably position with a full hop around and, like, reactively with punch as well, or go for, like, a proactive, like, rising full hop bear to call out the position, too, if you got the timing right. I just, like, feel like, I guess if Falco's already on the top plat, would you say, like, would you usually like to directly, or I mean on the side plat, would you usually like to directly challenge him?
I think it's a strong position, but not an unbeatable one. I think it's like, so okay, strong is a strong word. I'd say that like it's a solid position for him. He has a lot of things going on. So because of that, I would just say that you kind of can't. I don't think there's like one size fits all solution. The thing that jumps out at me as like a good option here is short up air.
Okay.
Because the idea here is that, like, Falco's going to land on this platform. We know that they're committed to the dare. They have to go here. So if that's the case, when they land, try to line up a good short hop up air to punish, to, like, shield poke or harass. And then you also get behind Falco. So, like, Fox goes over here. And yeah, like, it's not like Fox goes over here or gets over, like, here. Like, here, we'll map out some of the movements here so you can see what I mean. So what I'm thinking happens here, if I'm Fox's perspective, I would say that Falco comes down, goes here. So if I'm as Fox, what I'm doing is I want to like do a short hop up air like this and attack this spot. So so then once that's done, I'm gonna land like somewhere in this general vicinity, down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then from this point on, because I can fall like in different ways, I could do this for a shuffle, yada yada yada. And then from here, if I want to, I can then follow up with additional dash dancing. Like, I can dash dance out of the way, or I can put out like another hit above me, like an up tilt, to potentially catch a shield drop if I wanted to. I could also back air, like moving this way, if I as well. I really like the dash dance here. Like, I like doing a tight dash dance in this kind of like general area. Because I think that this gives us like the best way to hold our position and check what Falco's doing. And then if Falco sits here and blocks, we can go for another up air, like just in the other direction. And then, or if Falco comes down, then we're also fine because we're in a good spot.
We're like ready for a whiff punish.
Right. So I think that this spot here versus Falco is quite good. The one thing that Falco can do that's kind of annoying, and this is why I think he's like this position's overall like very playable for him, is that he can just jump, he can short hop over this way like this and fire the laser that way. So like the way it looks is he shoots like that.
Yeah, I see.
Yep. Because if we're waiting all the way over here and Falco moves over here, then yeah, he's kind of he kind of got us.
So that makes sense.
What you'll sometimes see is like Foxes or Falco players who are like on the bottom here, they'll go here and then they'll like see the Falco go here and then they'll just immediately like run over this, like over here. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to cover the laser so they can like up smash it or whatever. That's a super common thing amongst like amongst some of the top players. I think Aklu does it a lot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or
I'll definitely look into that. I feel like I need to be more like I feel like I have like basically like there's positions where it just simply makes sense to put myself in the corner and I'm not at that much risk that I need to like get out of my head. Just being in the corner is always 100% bad, not like entirely dangerous, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I get like very much like usually I would be like I guess thinking like I'm just gonna keep trying to pressure Falco in the corner here with like backers or whatever. Like I don't really want to like be proactive or anything. But I feel like actually like crossing him up with that up air makes a lot of sense. I don't think I've tried anything like that at all.
Yeah, the other thing to remember here is like if we're at 41, like
Yeah.
it's not like getting like the thing that I like about going to the corner in this context is that it's not that hard to defend from the back air in general if we know Falco's above us. I think where it's hard to defend against Falco's like back air and like back air mix-ups is when he's starting on the ground with us. Like if we were here and Falco was here, I think that's really hard. But I think
Yeah,
that
for sure.
but because Falco's starting on the platform, I think it's a lot easier because we can always just light shield and just take the shield push off, and then just go to the edge and glint our way on, and then just kind of resume from there. There's a safety net for us sort of because we know Falco's next move coming off the platform is going to be an aerial or moving away from us or a laser. So, yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. There's a lot of Falco killing technology. Is the verticality starting to like the different paths available starting to make a little more sense though? Like, because I know that this is a hard concept. Like, there's a lot that goes on in that particular area of the matchup. Yeah.
No, it is for sure.
What's something that what's a like a position or like a lesson that we're like what's something about that we've gone over that you think is gonna jive well with you?
Okay, so I think like a big part is just like the like I guess like full hopping like through the platform like is not a mix up I've been running that often, and I think that'll help a lot. Like just like generally I think that I need to like get more sorry. Actually, give me a second putting my words for those. It's
Yeah, no,
really hard for me to like put into words with this shit.
Maeve, it's totally fine. It's all
I
good.
know. It's just like Falco messes with my brain really hard. Uh, I guess like
I mean, he's the most complicated neutral character to fight. Like what you
yeah, that
like
makes
there's a
sense.
lot of depth to, like his tools are so strong you only beat them a couple of ways, but there's a lot of that goes into beating them.
hmm Yeah, I guess like just like utilizing like the platforms in the sense that like I can actually just like retreat to them and then force Falco to respond to me, as well as like I can bait retreat into them and just like there's the entire dimension of like uh basically like my full hop is completely transformed by the existence of a platform and the mix-ups that are available to it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely
Is
it
how I'm like
does.
trying to like conceive it right now.
Absolutely. Like this is why Sheik despite having good jump like Sheik has good jumps versus Falco stuff, like I will die on this hill. But yeah, it's why even with those good jumps, she would never counterpick FD.
Right.
Because it's just like like her short hop and her double jump and her full hop and the way that her needles like control space, all of it is like absolutely controlled. And sorry, absolutely like expanded upon and made better by access to platforms. Like she and I feel like Fox in a lot of ways is similar. It's just that like Fox also has the chain grab kill on FD. Um,
Yeah.
and his rush down power shield game is, I would argue, a little bit better. And well, is actually significantly better too. So it's just that like he has the right collection of stuff to make like Falco's like life kind of miserable in certain ways on FD. But like I don't even think FD is that great of a counterpick for Fox. Real talk. I think that Fox wants Fountain of Dreams and like Yoshi's kind of.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like FT at all in the matchup. Falco's like punish game is like good enough there that even if I do technically out punish him, it's like not worth it for how horrible the neutral feels when like because it's like I guess when I'm thinking about it, uh he can kind of just like catch my full hop landings with laser as like an anti-air in a way that he can't really do if I have a platform that I can retreat to. And
Correct.
it like makes like laser become like a very all-encompassing like tool in a way that it just isn't on the platform any other stage really, even stadium.
Yeah.
That
So
it like dictates the entire matchup on FD.
yeah, no, there's a reason this used to be a Falco counterpick. Like
Hmm.
I think that like Falcos have kind of figured out that like Pokemon Stadium is better for them because like it
Yeah.
just is. But I think that like overall, like Battlefield and I think Stadium are overall better levels. Like FD is always so hard to evaluate because you just play Rochambeau on it and just like kick each other to death really really hard. With combo damage, and it's always
Hmm.
like really oppressive. But one thing I think that Soonsay does a good job of here is like just generally like once he gets like the upper hand in a situation, he just does not let go of it. Because so like as you'll see, he doesn't like he gets into that uncomfortable. So again, like he gets into that uncomfortable Falco range, and then he just chills there and maintains it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that like there is like some full hopping that goes into achieving that spot. So this is all take laser, but like I do think that like the full hop he does to like get around her initially is important, because it allows him to then like kind of like measure this distance, give her the good approaching, like give her like a solid approaching distance, and then just like back out with like roll and dash dance. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. And like wave dash back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that makes sense.
So he's not, when it's not his turn, like I would say that how he gets that grab is like a worthwhile thing to like work backwards on. Like this, how often would you say you get that grab?
Let's see.
Like this one here.
Not very.
So this is another big concept with Falco. Look at the preemptive wave dash out of shield.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So
he's like basically like he sets up shield as a reaction point and then just like gets out of there expecting her to like approach.
Yeah, it's more of a bait. I don't know if it's a reaction point so much as it's a bait. Like I don't think that he's reacting to her approaching. I think he's doing it as
no, sorry, I phrased that wrong. Like yeah, he's like baiting her to react to the shield and then like just gets out of there before he actually reacts.
Correct. Okay,
yes.
Got it. With that clarification, yes, you got it. So let's like so from here, let's see how he sets that up. So he runs in, gets kind of close, and then retreats. So actually, it would be So runs in. So we'll go from this point actually, because this is where like the magic happens. So in this position, so this is like preemptive wave dash out of shields. But how did we get here? So what happened right before this? We'll go back and take a look. See, no worries. So and after this, what do you think our odds are of finding a Falco on net play if we hopped in?
I don't know. I guess like I doubt I can find one in the server right now.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So let's say here. So this is the last step. So wave dash back. Wave dash back. DD grab. So then, what did Falco like approaching Nair's here, right? Because this is what Soonsay does. He goes here, and then Falco like Nair. So yeah, so Falco Nair in. Nair forward, and let's like look at how this happened. Do you find that having like the steps on how we got here helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Why do you find them helpful? Like, what is it about them that like that helps them? Like, what makes them stick out? I guess. Or
I guess I feel like it's kind of like a back and forth where I'm trying to like pressure Falco into being in a position where he feels like he needs to approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like this is something that happens in neutral. We can tell because both players are playing.
Yes. Okay, so
Falco DDs. So then shield, and then it would be Falco spaces Nair. Falco spaced soft Nair. And then this hits. And then Falco DDs. Falco DDs plus Fox falls away. And then shield. Falco Nair forward, wave dash back grab. Cool. And then it would be like, yeah, this is how we got here.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, with this in mind, with our last 10 minutes, how do you want to go about doing this? Because like, I want to make sure that this time is productive. I'm sorry, we have 15 minutes. You're right, because we started 5 late. I think that some of these concepts and some of these ideas are pretty important, are pretty helpful versus other characters. And I think that practical application might be good. It might also be good for me to see an example of your play, so I can kind of like get a sense of where you're at, and Yeah, and just take stock of that. Would you be up for doing a ranked set potentially that we could work
Sure.
through? Okay,
That works.
Hell yeah. So with that in mind, let's just don't. Okay, hell yeah. Good internet. Let's go.
Yeah.
Peach, nice.
Okay, that works.
I would say that the concept, some of these concepts are absolutely very useful versus Peach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool! You let her have Dreamland.
Yeah, yeah. I hate you. She's against Peach. Just
Minor thing, I would just shoot the single lasers if you can.
okay. Yeah.
Nice. Perfect percent. Your fox looks sick. Like, there's, like, some choppiness, and I think it's probably because you might not be warmed up, but, like, it's... like, you look so much more composed.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I definitely am not super warm right now. Yeah, see?
It's okay.
But it's okay.
So when she's floating above your like near your short up near and stuff like that, you kind of like you kind of have a few ways to do it. I like running running past her, and once I'm on the other side, I like to come up with back air or just keep running.
Okay.
You can also full hop rising aerial if she's at a high enough percent, but she has to be at the percent for it. If she's not, then like it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Full hop up here isn't bad either, but again, like you have to get in on her before she pushes a button.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like that, yeah. It's like it doesn't beat anything she does, but like it does kill her. So if you happen to just catch her slipping, then if you just happen to catch her like at a timing where she's not ready for things, then like yeah, it's good.
On this drift. Okay. I see I'm playing too grounded now.
Don't worry about it. So, let's okay, cool. Don't worry about too grounded or not. Remember, the air stuff is new, so like there's no reason, like you don't have to get it all right away. One thing I'd say there, when she's floating like above the ledge like that, just like short up shine is like a pretty reasonable like threat. Is a pretty good way to kill her. Like dash dance, short hop, shine, dash, like it forces her to like move back, and then you can grab the edge. Like the big thing with her is you just want to find like ways of like getting better positions. Like, see what I mean? Like that could have been really good.
Should have just up smash up shield.
Don't worry about it. The name of the game is we don't sweat little things like that.
Okay.
Because you could have like if you hit the execution, that play would have worked. Like we're not going, and I don't want you to like water down your play just because you missed something. Like your play when you're playing confidently is really good.
Okay.
And we're gonna like we're not going to have that confidence if we're just like if we're like cutting things out every time we like miss something just because when we're not playing warm.
Right. Nice. Okay.
Did I teach you the percents method? Like the check your percent and make a guess?
No.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. When we're at 0, or when she hits us and at the end of her combos, we're going to look at our percent and make a guess about what move she might be playing for. So it's just like whatever your gut says. So at 0, what is it?
Down smash.
Yeah, so we just make a hypothesis and we go from there.
Okay.
And then when she hits us with something, we say what she actually hit.
Down smash.
Yeah. So at 46, what does she want? Or 56?
Dash tech or that.
There you go.
Or in there. Perhaps
we
fair.
gave her a shield grab, but like again, we gave her that. You know what I mean?
You're at it.
So at 92, what do you think?
I think she's gonna start air lane.
Yeah, 95. I would say that makes sense. Nice. And how does this feel like thinking about, like, you know, having this in mind, like making these observations and little guesses?
It makes sense. Like she's clearly just fishing for aerials now. That was a risky bear. I think we can throw a lot more in those spots.
Oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that she lost her jump, I was like, oh my god, if she doesn't DI this well, and then she didn't, I was like, oh, she's trying to get out with her like wiggled crap. I was like, oh, she just died.
Ooh. Nice. Yeah. It's hard to get in on her at that point. Yeah.
We don't have to though. Like we're up.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
We're up 2 stocks on Battlefield. Like the hell do we care? Getting in. She has to get in on us. So 26. What do you think she wants?
Probably some down smash. Like, yeah.
Damn. Just called out that roll. Just read that roll from like an hour away. Like you were ready for it before like she even finished, before she even raised her damn shield.
Oh yeah. Nice. Good.
Okay, so it's 79. What does she want?
Probably an aerial at this point or a grab. Dash deck. Nah, probably not right now.
Oh my god, that was so sick. the up tilt. Oh my goodness. You're sick.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Got rid of Fountain, left up FD?
Yeah, I hate Fountain against Peach. I think I can get really owned by flat RNG really bad, and against Fountain I feel like grab is not that hard to play around. I just gotta play smart.
Gotcha. So again, at 0, what does she want?
Right now down smash, and but she's also gonna view grab a lot heavier, like so, even though she can't chain grab, because she's like Peach brains.
No, we don't want to like. This
right, we can't. Yeah.
This is the whole purpose of this method is so that we don't make assumptions based on like the opponent, and so that we get to know them. We get to know them better. Of course, I'm right. I'm old. Like,
yeah. Okay. Good.
I am a boomer. I get to collect Social Security. Well, I would, but then they got rid of it.
It's awesome.
I'm also Canadian, but our government is also trying to get rid of that.
That's awesome too. I'm glad. Yeah, it's really nice. It's terrible actually.
I know. We don't have to get into it here, but like if you do need an ear, like again, and you know, I worry about you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. What I find this method helps me with is like when they're more like it helps me stay informed as to like when they're more likely to look for certain trades. Because like I feel like if she's looking for like specific combo starters, she's less likely to trade. But if she's just looking for a hit, then she is. So like here, I think that it makes sense for her to want to trade because she just wants like down smash or aerial down smash. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a scrapping move. But at like 40, 50, like if we're at higher percents, 40, 50, and she wants like grab or down smash, grab or dash attack so she can do a huge combo, it just doesn't really make as much sense for her to like be trading there if she doesn't have to. Oh, yeah. No Peach Brain. All right, red 0, so we know what we're playing around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a great jab up smash. Holy.
All right, let's see. I feel like usually if I'm at like last hit game through with Peach and I just start doing this. Um, yeah, yeah, I got it. They get like really scared. Yeah, see,
That's totally
it's so simple.
clinical.
It's so simple. If you get to game 3 last time against a Peach's Fox, you should always win just because if you laser a few times, they get terrified every time.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even think that's like, it works every time to the point I understand what you said earlier. But I feel like there's something to say where it's like, it probably has to do with the fact that like, they have been conditioned into thinking like, based on how I've been using the laser game previously, that I won't commit to it for that long, and then I do actually just commit to it. I think that's actually what's happening here.
I agree.
And then they're like, okay, well, she's gonna laser like twice, and then like Naren or something, and I just keep doing that.
So to be clear, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I do think that you are. I do think that like what beating lasers is all about. Beating lasers is all about making like educated guesses. So you're right. The conditioning that you apply as the space animal player is absolutely really important for like how you like capitalize on those endgame positions. Like no question, it is important. It's a thing. It's kind of like when Mewtwo King, like Mewtwo King would the few times Mewtwo King has beaten Armada with Fox, like it's usually looked something like that. So I would say that that's not super controversial. Where I would say that this is like maybe a little bit harder to do is in best of 5. Because I think that this is very much like a strategy that works in shorter sets. But I think that like it's kind of like a lot of like big stylistic like mix-ups. It loses some of its power the more the opponent sees it.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I would expect this to work. I would expect this to work better in a best of 3 compared to a best of 5, because by best of 5 they have way more information. But I don't think it's. I'm not saying your strategy doesn't work or it's bad or anything like that. I just think that there's like.
Sense. Yeah.
So with our last 3 minutes, I'm thinking let's get our takeaways down. So let's talk to me. What did you learn today that you're excited to take into your play going forward and that you're interested in applying?
I guess just like mainly mixing up how I utilize the platforms and actually intentionally boarding them just for the purpose of like setting up a like new position instead of just like going on it to like reactively like out of a full hop defensively, if that makes sense. Like I guess being proactive with the platforms instead of just reactive. As well as like just generally thinking about like taking space and like encroaching on space and like baiting with like shield as a reaction point. I feel like those are my biggest takeaways. And I feel like just baiting with shield as a reaction point, it can kind of like be built off further into like just like like crouch cancel into like dash back out of crouch as a reaction point. You're just like showing that you are in a defensive stance and then immediately like retreating, or something like that. I feel like it just goes into the fact like I can bait with movement instead of just attacks.
Yeah. So let's see here. So board the platforms one. What I have is side platforms offer coverage against top platform and center stage. While top platform is difficult, is difficult for opponents to approach. Against Falco specifically, side platform is also difficult. For him to approach with good DDing and shield drops and shield use. DDing, short hop, and shield use. Short hopping over his up air, if you call it out, can be a really good way, by the way, of like setting up counter hits, because you like short hop and then fast fall through the platform in that same way, and then like back air or whatever on the way down. Which is why board the platforms too is sometimes you can mix up your fall near a platform, near or over a platform, by falling through the platform, the platform versus landing on it. Useful for mix-ups in the corner. Brackets refer to Soonsay. And then the next one we'll say is, you said intention. So remind me what you meant by that. Like when it comes to like, the shield thing. Yes. So baiting with shield in ground v ground. and that would be use flashing your shield is an and to prompt initiation. To prompt initiation and as a bait is an effect. Can be used to lure in opponents who attack in fixed locations. In fixed locations with their aerials, e.g. aerials. So this will work better versus like Sheik or Fox compared to like say like Pikachu. That's really what that means.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the last one, I think, the big one is, so when board, actually this will be board the platforms 3. So, board the platforms 3. Shielding is not always necessary or even beneficial for platform movement in a given situation. Dash dancing is way more versatile and for positioning and can do a better job of keeping offense open. And then the last one is PvP awareness. PvP awareness building, and then so continue to build upon the check your percent and guess method of gaining understanding of our opponents' matchup goals. Do you need any further instruction on that one, or do you think that's basically clear?
No, I think that's clear.
Hell yeah. I will provide the instructions just for because I think those should be there. So I'll do that below. Process for PvP, for check your percent and guess. I find this method is like super useful in general though. I find it's been helping my play a lot as I keep getting better with it. So check your percent and guess. So check your percent to guess, make a guess. Bracket, use your gut. Don't overthink it. On what the opponent wants. 3. Play as normal. Lock in. Lock in and play. 4. Observe what they observe what move they actually hit. 5. Repeat whenever your character is hit. Character is hit and comboed or hit by a strong move. Yeah. Because the idea here is we're getting a sense of who our opponent is and gaining an understanding of like how they operate. Because if they have a weird style, they're not going to conform to our prediction at all, or not very much, rather. But that also means they're probably trying to do something else, and the moves that they do choose, which we're observing, that will give us a clue as to what they're going for. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Maeve, it's lovely having you back. Do you have any questions for me or last things that you want to gloss over before we call it, or do you think this is good for now?
I think this is good for now. I really appreciate it, though. It's great to see you again, too. Have a good one.
Same to you. Bye.
Bye.